The world of BTS has once again been rocked by a revelation so unexpected that even the most devoted ARMY members are struggling to process it. What began as a seemingly ordinary stage performance transformed into one of the most emotionally charged and controversial moments in the group's history. Kim Taehyung, known affectionately as V, appeared to speak from the heart in a way that fans had only ever dared to speculate about in whispers and private discussions for years. That night, what should have been a routine concert turned into a moment that would leave a permanent mark on the BTS fandom, igniting conversations that continue to echo across social media and beyond. The performance itself was, in every way, quintessential BTS. The arena was electrified, filled with thousands of fans waving their light sticks, their voices blending into a sea of unwavering devotion. Each song, each choreographed move seemed flawless, an orchestration of years of practice and experience. But what no one anticipated was that the most unforgettable moment wouldn't be tied to the set list or the lights or even the music. It would come from a sudden, unguarded interaction between Taehyung and Jungkook. During a brief pause in the performance, Taehyung took the microphone. His normally warm, radiant eyes were heavy with emotion, and there was a hesitation in his voice, a tremor that immediately caught the attention of every person in the arena. What followed was subtle, yet explosive. He didn't name Jungkook outright at first, but his words carried a weight that could not be ignored. Every ARMY member present, and later millions watching online, sensed the unspoken connection. "We don't see the battle someone is fighting right next to us," Taehyung said, his voice quivering just enough to send chills across the venue. "Even when we smile together on stage, there are struggles behind the curtains. Real struggles." At that moment, the camera cut to Jungkook. His usual composure seemed to evaporate. His eyes widened, his lips pressed tight, and his fingers fidgeted nervously around the microphone. For longtime fans, the micro-expressions were unmistakable. Jungkook was caught off guard, visibly shaken. And then Taehyung spoke the words that would ignite a global storm of speculation. "There are times," he continued, "when the person you think is the strongest is carrying a condition that people often misunderstand, but it doesn't make them weak, it makes them even braver." Silence fell over the crowd. Online, clips of the moment spread like wildfire, sparking waves of conversation and conjecture. Could Taehyung have been referring to Jungkook? For years, the youngest member of BTS had been celebrated as a golden, unstoppable force. He could sing, dance, rap, paint, box, perform with flawless charisma. He seemed to embody perfection itself. But perfection, as history has shown, is often a fragile mask. Those closest to Jungkook have occasionally hinted that he is far from invincible. Fans have noticed his occasional restlessness, the way he sometimes seems lost in thought during interviews, or bursts of energy that feel almost uncontainable in casual settings. Previously, these traits were brushed off as quirks, parts of Jungkook's unique charm. But Taehyung's words cast these behaviors in a completely new light. Could Jungkook be living with something far deeper, something that explains these subtle patterns fans have long observed? The notion that emerged from that night's performance was both shocking and deeply human: ADHD, or attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. A condition that affects millions worldwide, yet few idols in the ultra-competitive K-pop industry have dared to publicly acknowledge. If true, this revelation reframes everything about Jungkook's journey: the relentless practice sessions, the global tours, the hours spent perfecting choreography under intense scrutiny. To battle a neurodevelopmental condition while performing at the absolute pinnacle of K-pop is no small feat. It is a testament not only to skill, but to resilience, courage, and an almost unthinkable level of stamina. Following the performance, Jungkook's response, or lack thereof, fueled even more speculation. Normally active on Weverse, posting messages and selfies for fans, he went completely silent for 2 days. When he eventually returned, it was with a single black and white photograph of the night sky, devoid of any caption. The silence was deafening, interpreted by fans as a cryptic reassurance, a plea for understanding, or perhaps an acknowledgement of the moment's gravity. Comments flooded in. "Are you okay? Please don't go through this alone." The uncertainty only deepened the mystique surrounding Jungkook's potential revelation. The global reaction was split. Many fans reacted with immediate compassion, emphasizing that such a personal aspect of his life should be treated with respect, not scrutiny. Others argued that, if confirmed, it only magnifies Jungkook's accomplishments, achieving extraordinary feats while facing challenges that most of us can barely comprehend. Industry insiders, however, hinted at the complexity of the situation. Some suggested that admitting to ADHD could complicate Jungkook's carefully crafted public image. In K-pop, where idols are often held to near impossible standards of perfection, the disclosure of a personal condition could be seen as either vulnerability or a revolutionary act of humanization. And yet, what is undeniable is the transformative potential of this moment. ADHD is frequently misunderstood, often dismissed as mere hyperactivity or distraction. In reality, it is a multifaceted condition that affects focus, impulse control, and energy regulation. For a global superstar like Jungkook, navigating a world of endless rehearsals, live performances, and unrelenting public scrutiny, managing such a condition would require extraordinary strength. The very traits that may have been interpreted as quirks, boundless energy, creativity, a restless drive, could in fact be part of the unique brilliance that defines him as an artist. The tension of that night, captured in a single glance between Taehyung and Jungkook, has left fans both anxious and inspired. Was Taehyung speaking from the heart about Jungkook specifically, or was it a broader reflection on unseen struggles? Was Jungkook's reaction evidence of personal exposure, or merely a fleeting moment of vulnerability? Until either Jungkook, Taehyung, or their management speak directly, the truth remains tantalizingly elusive. One thing is certain, that night shattered the illusion of invulnerability. It reminded the world that even the brightest stars carry shadows, even icons are human, and even perfection can conceal struggles. The impact of that moment will ripple for years to come, changing conversations around mental health in K-pop and redefining how fans perceive Jungkook, not merely as the golden youngest member, but as someone whose extraordinary achievements might include battles invisible to the eye. Questions remain. Will Jungkook confirm the speculation? How will the industry respond to such an unprecedented disclosure? Will Taehyung face criticism for revealing such an intimate truth, or will he be celebrated for his courage? And most importantly, how will this moment influence the broader discussion about mental health and human vulnerability within K-pop? Whatever the answers, the night when Taehyung's voice trembled and Jungkook's expression faltered will never be forgotten. It will echo in ARMY hearts, replayed in fan discussions, and remembered as a moment when BTS showed the world that behind the lights, the choreography, and the music, there is always the human story, one of struggle, resilience, and the extraordinary bravery of simply being oneself.